Hello, everybody. I am back, at least getting there. How is everyone doing today? I hope that no matter where you are in the world and no matter what is going on around you, that you can find that calm in the center of the storm, that peace, that love that is internally derived, no matter what is going on around you. And because of everything that's going on, I figured it would be appropriate to talk about something I think we can all relate to by now. And that is the dark night of the soul. The dark night of the soul. I think it's fair to say that we have either all already gone through one or are still going through one, and at least speaking from personal experience, the last 5 weeks for me were a little bit of a dark night of the soul. Not a little, a lot. And whether it's a collective dark night of the soul or a personal dark night of the soul, the best way I have heard it described, I'll tell you in a minute. But just to clarify, what I'm talking about here is it's like a spiritual depression. It's like a depression of your entire soul, your entire being. It's more than just the regular depression we've done so good at normalizing. It's more than that. It is more like an existential crisis. I guess you could say it is a depression of the mind, body, and soul. But the way I heard it explained once was this, that it is like your external world explodes, but life is always in perfect balance, right? No matter how far from the one extreme to the other we rock or oscillate. You know, if we are on this end of the spectrum, we go to that end of the spectrum, or feast and famine, or like the figure 8 infinity. That as your external world is literally or figuratively exploding, your internal world implodes. And an implosion is like an inverted explosion. So instead of it going like this, it's almost like a black hole and you get sucked in instead. But this is where the beauty, power, and magic of a dark night of the soul lies. As we figuratively or literally cocoon and retreat into darkness, I want you to remember the power that can be found there. Because it is no different than the darkness of the womb. Darkness, silence, clarity can be found in these places. Perspective. And it feels like your whole world is caving in. And it is sad because you're grieving so many things. You're grieving whatever this dark night of the soul is about, whether it's a spiritual awakening or you realizing, you know, that your life is just not what you thought it would be, or whether it's about a relationship or your health or death. loss, change, whatever your dark night of the soul is about, it happens so that we can cocoon, retreat, and regain that clarity, and then regrow, retry, realign, re-emerge stronger. I definitely lost my point of thought now. So as you feel like your whole world is collapsing, inside and outside, I don't know about you, but I can tell you what happened to me. I cocoon naturally anyway, but if I'm going through a dark night of the soul, then I cut off a lot of communication. I get really still and really quiet. And I let myself feel uncomfortable. That's a skill a lot of people don't have. But it's there to teach us a very, very powerful lesson. It helps us connect to the internal, the eternal part of us. And if that's the part that was missing, which it usually is, then that's the part it's supposed to reconnect you with and strengthen. That's the part of you your soul wants you to remember. And your soul is aching for you to be happy, internally and externally. All of humanity's soul is aching for humanity to be happy, in harmony with each other and nature. And I've talked about this before. It is the disconnection from ourselves that is preventing us from connecting with each other. It's causing the disconnection with each other. So this, I remember now, we were talking about grieving, right? So the dark night of the soul usually involves a lot of grieving, which also another thing a lot of people don't know how to do. We have to just let it out, cry it out, talk it out, write it out, say it out. So it usually involves a lot of grieving, whether that's the grieving of a person or the life that you thought you had, a relationship, what you thought was your dream career or your life purpose, or the world around you. The world around you, the things that you used to think mattered, the things that you used to think were real, the people that you used to think you could trust. There's a lot of grieving when your outside world collapses. And I personally started going through a dark night of the soul right before the, let's call it what I call it, the Great Pause, right? March 2020, right before the Great Pause, I had already started going through a dark night of the soul. You could say January 1st. If anyone knows what happened on January 1st, 2020, you'll know what I mean. Started with a breakup. And then everything just started crashing down from there. Everything. And I literally remember sitting on a stool by my balcony door, trying to have a conversation with a friend of mine, and I wasn't crying, actively crying, but there were just tears streaming down my face the whole time. And I was trying to have a normal conversation with her, and she's like, "Are you okay?" I'm like, "No." "Do you want to talk about it?" "Mm-mm." Is there anything I can do? Mm-mm. Let me know in the comments if any of you can relate. Let me know what you do to soothe yourself. The most important thing to do during this time, I think, is to A, give yourself the gift of time, peace, isolation, silence. Give yourself the gift of cocooning and retreating, but not to the point of despair. For rest, for that deep soul level rest. Let yourself rest first, then you'll be able to see clearly. Give yourself also the gift of not having to know the answer. Give yourself the gift of prayer and faith. Never before in my life have I had to have faith in things unseen than the last 2 years. Faith. I don't know how, but everything's going to be okay. I don't know how, but I'm going to figure this out. I don't know how, but I did it. And the beauty of the dark night of the soul, no matter how long it takes, sometimes it's days, sometimes it's weeks, sometimes it's months, sometimes it's years. The beauty of the dark night of the soul is the comeback. The phoenix rising from the ashes. That is the beauty of the dark night of the soul. And it feels really good when you finally begin to start re-emerging out of your cocoon. If you are going through a dark night of the soul right now and just want to talk to me about it, I'm here. I'm just a DM away if there is anything at all that I can do for you. Even just by letting you know that you are not alone. We are all going to make it out of this. This too shall pass. The reason I can say that with such a certainty is because the whole purpose of the dark night of the soul is the healing, and there is nothing in the world we need more right now than healing. And some of you are not aware the deep level at which this healing and correcting is actually taking place. And that's okay. You don't have to. But you will. One day it'll all make sense, what we're going through collectively. Things always look worse before they get better. So stay the course, stay the path, hold the line, stay in the love vibration. When we're in the love vibration, we're not able, it's not possible to be in Toronto and Florida at the same time. You can't be in two different states of vibration at the same time. So if you're feeling love, you can't feel hate, judgment, anger. Love wins, the light wins, God wins. So I guess just to finish off, I want to remind you of my quick little breathing exercise that I learned from a man in Ontario. I can't remember his name right now, but I've done it in one of my previous videos. If you're still with me, if you're watching this on the replay, let's just do the quick finger breathing thing. We have to put the finger under the nose to create some difference in velocity, so it's a bit harder for the lungs to breathe in. You just put it under your nose. We're going to breathe in for 3 seconds, hold for 3, and release for 3 or 5, as long as you can. The longer the better. And we're going to do it 3 times. And go. Really squeeze the bottom of your lungs and breathe deep. Whew. And let's just see what the tarot has to say. I haven't pulled a card in a while. I am realigning. Getting back on track. Okay, cards. Give us a quick message about the dark night of the soul. A beautiful way for me to wrap this live transmission. Still not 100%, but what else? What else do we need to know? We're navigating out or in of a dark night of the soul. Yeah, well, how appropriately, right? 3 of Swords, how appropriate for a dark night of the soul, right? It feels like despair. It feels like, sometimes it can feel like betrayal. The root cause of it can be betrayal. Betrayal of the worst kind. Trust. But the other 3 cards are good. I got the Knight of Pentacles, the Queen of Wands, and the Star. And if I were just to tune into these for a second, what they want to try to tell us. So with the Knight of Pentacles, I see him almost like delivering a gift, right? This is the golden nugget, or sometimes a mountain of wisdom that is possible to acquire during a dark night of the soul. Dark night of the soul. This is the lesson that's hidden within it. The Queen of Wands, right? Wands is all about energy and passion and movement. So even though we cocoon and retreat and withdraw, right? The best cards for the dark night of the soul is the Hermit, right? Become your own inner wizard. When I went through my 2020 dark night of the soul that almost lasted all year, I remember feeling like I got a cosmic education And when I say cosmic, I mean that's just how big it felt like it was, all the new information I absorbed, all the new stuff I learned, right? It felt like a cosmic education. I learned more in 2020 than I did in the last 10 years of my life. Anyone else? So Queen of Wands, energy, movement. After we retreat, after we recede, for the energy for the comeback, right? The Queen represents the wise feminine authority figure. So after what feels like a soul level injury, and after we give ourselves that deep soul level rest and time to recuperate that all of us deserve, we're creating massive movement forward into the next level, which takes a lot of energy. And I love that there's a little black cat here. I actually never noticed that before, but we're going to take that as a good omen. We take that as a good omen here. Little black cat. Cats can be caretakers or guardians of the underworld, which is appropriate if we're talking about a dark night of the soul. Usually we have to face the deepest, darkest shadow aspects of ourselves. Okay, but then we have the Star, which is one of the major arcana cards, and this card carries the most weight out of all of these cards. There's another word for it, but I won't say it because it might piss some people off. If you know tarot, you know what I mean. The Star card. The Star is all about that rebirth and renewal and that water flowing, the river, rebirth, renewal. Can you feel it? The Star, the illumination. And we usually depart or come back from this dark night of the soul with heavenly wisdom. Heavenly, deep, soul level wisdom. And in that dark night of the soul, what is the one thing that can still illuminate the whole sky? The whole sky can be pitch black, but you will see the tiny little pinhole of a star, even in the darkest. The light beats the dark. This reading couldn't have been more perfect. So I will end it there, my lovelies. I will take this opportunity to remind you I am available for donation-based readings if there is some clarity or, you know, a bit of a new direction that you've been looking for. I'm not here to tell you what to do. I'm here to guide you to figure out what you already know is the best thing for you to do. And the messages might come from, you know, your guides or beyond. But I'm not here to tell you what to do. I can help you get some well-deserved clarity or encouragement and guidance on pretty much any situation, as long as you know I will be coming at it from the angle that will be in the highest good for all involved. That's my only disclaimer, because some people can't handle that. Some people want revenge. Some people need to cut someone else down. Usually these people don't come back to me for readings. So it's Friday. It's October 1st. It's my birthday month. And I don't know about you, but I feel like I'm on the upswing. I'm on the comeback. But there's been a lot of interesting surprises along the way. So ciao for now, my lovelies. See you next Friday.